Oh, it's been a 24 hours. It's been a summer. Do you know what's funny? The one thing I have yet to hear a solitary soul speak in this particular capital N nation. None of this, none of it would have mattered without TJ. Good morning to you. Good Friday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Steelers. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into hockey and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Penguins and Pirates in the same place that you found this. Yes, TJ Watt was signed to a 3-year extension, and that's extension in the literal sense, meaning he already was signed through the 2025 season. This is 3 additional years worth a total of $123 million. Of that, $108 million guaranteed. It'll all be paid while he's in his 30s, and go ahead and accelerate all you want. Any discussion or debate about that. But understand these two things. One, as I'd been telling you for months, this was always going to be the outcome. There was never, ever a trade talk with another team, and both sides stayed steadfastly focused on the same goal. That's why it got done. Secondly, if you're Omar Khan, or for that matter, Mike Tomlin, Andy Weidel, Art Rooney, everybody in that building, if you're those guys and you just spent this entire offseason amassing, deep breath here, Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, Darius Slay, that exciting draft class, and you felt so much conviction in those moves that part of it involved sending out Minkah Fitzpatrick and George Pickens, then try, just obviously in a hypothetical way, to imagine what it would have been like to not have TJ after all that. Look, you can, if you want to listen to the cynics, if you want to listen to the people who are just looking at this as some ice cold process, oh, he got paid too much, or what's he going to be worth in 3 or 4 years, then at the risk of being rude, there's really no talking any sense into you. But if you're doing this at ground level, if you're doing this the way the Steelers themselves, and you'd better believe Omar's carrying on the legacy of Kevin Colbert in this regard, if you're conducting business in a way that the heart and the soul become part of it, in a way that the legacy of the franchise and the legacy of the great individuals get legitimately respected, in a way that creates a culture for future players to come along and see the way someone like a TJ gets treated for performing the way he has. Now from there, try to imagine doing all of this, and then there is no TJ. Oh, wait, you could put Nick Herbig on that side. No, Herbig can't seal the edge, and Herbig is not TJ. Herbig would be the first one to tell you that. Well, Jack Sawyer's here. No, I'm sorry. Stop it, okay? Stop it. Your defense wouldn't be what it's going to be. Your team wouldn't be what it's going to be. And that collective sense of, hey, maybe there's something special here, wouldn't be anywhere near what I think it's going to be heading into Latrobe. Listen, I'm not making any guarantees. I tell you right now, they're not going to make any either. They don't know what they can be. They don't know if they can trust all of the guys next to them. There's 9 new starters out of the 22 total starting positions from last season's final roster. 9 out of 22. They need to get together, and then from there, get it together. And that involves a lot of learning about each other, good and bad, experiencing adversity, overcoming that adversity. So there's no snap of any finger here. Heck, they're not even going to be seen as the favorite in their own division. I don't know that they should be. The Ravens have earned that. The Ravens didn't exactly get worse over the offseason either. So this isn't about overhyping what it is that they have. Rather, and this is for me, It's about looking back at everything that they've done. These names that they've brought in, wondering what it is that each one of them individually might have left. Wondering to what extent all of them are motivated for playoff success. Some obviously are going to stand out more than others, but you gotta grasp that all of it was going in the trash can without TJ. Not that that was ever a possibility. When we come back, J1Q. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George is a personal injury law firm in Western Pennsylvania that represents injured people in automobile accidents, workers' compensation cases, and medical malpractice claims. The attorneys at Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George pride themselves in doing what they say they're going to do. It's important to them that when they make you a promise, they keep that promise. And this law firm has been keeping promises for over 80 years. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George has been AV rated. That's the highest rating a law firm can receive for legal ability and ethics. And the lawyers at the firm have been designated super lawyers, that's a real thing, for over 15 years. Rare combination there. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George has offices in Cranberry, Newcastle, Beaver Falls, Butler, and Elwood City. Learn more about them at lgkg.com or by calling 888-842-5454. Again, that's 888-842-5454. Today's J1Q, befitting the greedy nature of this fan base. And don't tell me I'm lying here. It comes from Jonathan Hoffman, who says, DK, will Omar Khan try to find a WR2 now that this is done? Jonathan, this didn't preclude the WR2 search. I have no reason to believe that anything was being put on hold over TJ. And the reason for that, got proven yesterday, is that if and when TJ was going to get signed, it was never going to have a negative impact on the cap. Also, and related, they knew they were going to get TJ done, just like TJ knew he was going to get this done. But where WR2 is concerned, and really any other hole that's perceived on management's part is concerned, there's cap space. I'd love to be able to tell you how much, but the details, the real details of TJ's contract probably won't get out to the public until sometime later today. But if it's what I expect it to be, which is a smaller cap hit than what it was going to be if he just, played out the deal that he had, the Steelers might still have, believe it or not, like $20 million in cap space. Now, 5 of that, as you've heard me say often on this show, has to get set aside for midseason transactions, replacing a really important player who goes down. Part of succeeding in the playoffs is ensuring that you have not only the depth, but also the capability for further depth if it's needed. So you don't want to handcuff yourself in mid-July. But the amount that I'm sharing with you here buys you a whole lot of WR2, whether that's a free agent or a trade. My own feeling, as I've shared many times, is that Omar's going to continue pursuing this. I have never been of the mind, based on what I've heard from the inside, that they're going for some second superstar, someone who's, even close to a DK Metcalf level. But they do want it to be someone who can run those routes, who can replace Metcalf if he goes down. And those types are out there. But the main issue as it relates to WR2 right now is that they just want to wait. They want to see who keeps coming available. And a lot more of them are going to do that as training camp and the preseason unfold. I got to tell you, guys, before I go today, and I appreciate the question, by the way, Jonathan, I have a peculiarly, almost uncomfortably good feeling about this. And those of you who've been following me for a while will know that was not always the case in the year of our Lord 2025. I continue to have misgivings to an extent about what was done at quarterback, but the framing around it, a lot of which has followed Aaron Rodgers' arrival, plus Rodgers' own conduct, if you want to call it, the way he's carried himself, the way he's spoken, have for me softened a lot of that. And it wasn't just Rodgers. There was really a small set of things over the course of the offseason that I wasn't wild about. But see, here's the thing. I'm doing this for a living, and Omar Khan is doing that for a living. Each of us for a reason. I'm not going to say that Omar couldn't do this show, especially not with all the information he'd have available for you, but he might not be all that, quick at adapting to media life. If I were to do his job, I'd fire myself in half a day, because what he has demonstrated above and beyond any other trait over this summer is patience. I'm talking about whatever it took to settle things at quarterback. From the quick signing of Mason Rudolph after Justin Fields was lost, to waiting out Rodgers. Even though that was Tomlin's pursuit, Omar still had to be part of it. I'm talking about holding off on giving up assets to trade up and get Caleb Johnson when everybody in Omar's room is breathing down his neck to do exactly that. He still got his guy, and he still held on to his extra assets. I'm talking about completely rebuilding the 3 key playmaking positions on the offense. I'm talking about watching Donald Parham go down in OTAs and then saying, hey, you know what? I'll just go get Jonnu Smith then. Yes, I am with you, Jonathan. I believe that Omar still has work to do. I wouldn't mind seeing some additional safety depth in some form on top of what we've already brought up. But man, he's already gotten some work done, has he not? Guys, let's hook up again today at 4 p.m. Eastern with our live double shot of Steelers that we have on our YouTube channel and, of course, on our own app and website at DK Pittsburgh Sports. This program will be back next Monday, and training camp and real football will be back next week. Love having you guys with me. Appreciate you listening to this show.